Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Tyranny with me, Bring It On. So off camera I did update all of Lantry's spells with a focus on the Sigil of Strength. I updated them all to 5 I believe, except for this one. And then I focused on reduced cooldown if I still had Lore to spare, followed by accuracy. So he's now rocking a lot of very powerful spells. We're going to claim the remaining spire and speak to all the recruits. The now familiar light of the spire courses skyward, trailing off toward the horizon in the direction of Vendrian's well. You feel the ground beneath you fall away as you give into the warmth of the energy surrounding you. The dawning spire in Howling Rock gives you the impression of slow, inexorable movement, like a glacier of living stone. Unstoppable force moves at a pace that no eye could follow. The tower's very immobility is a pretense. With a triumphant heave, you feel the will of the spire stretch across the distance to link its power with Vendrian's well. Amazing. You can see out east from here, across to the continent. If we had a long-distance peering device, I wonder if we'd see Kyros' next wave of invaders, starting their journey here. It's maybe for the better that I can't confirm the suspicion. Another spire added to your collection, which begs the question of how many strongholds one Fatebinder needs. I'll leave you to answer the hard questions. Are you used to this rush? Because I don't know if I ever will be. We all feel it, right? And the training grounds. Constructing training grounds allows you to recruit the finest skilled trainers in the tiers. Once built, resting in any spire gives a bonus to accuracy, athletics, and subterfuge. So now when we rest at the spire, we get a bonus, I believe, to all of our skills. All of our base skills, not the, like, specific magics. Alright, let's loot and look. And then recruit. A small collection of structures rests precariously on a sheer cliff. Immense crystals envelop what remains of the land in all directions. Hey, new magic that we don't know. The scroll contains a magical accent which increases the armor penetration of a spell. Piercing strength 2. What a lot of hide.
Yes.
Good, we can use that to upgrade Lantry's robes.
Sorry, I can't.
Alright, doesn't look like there's anything hidden here, so let us hire our recruits. So I believe these are all trainers except for this guy. So we're going to hire Varus, a hunter who regularly provides hides to upgrade armor. So we finally got our hide provider. Alright, we'll hire Torvis for two-handed weapons, subterfuge and parry. I guess the Death Leaper for an armed attacks, dodge, and athletics for kills in shadow. Dream Slayer for verse for the dual wield. Selena for the one-handed weapons and two-handed weapons. Or Thala. And then Selena. So I don't care about the specific magics. And that'll work.
Will do.
Alright, let us go back to our other spires and get all of our loot. I don't think anything's unlocked since we were last here, but we'll check. Then we'll go back to the Aurora Spire, speak to the recruits, and then back to the Dawning Spire and speak to the recruits there. And then if there's time, we will go speak to Graven Ash and proceed with the main quest. Oh, I can sell all of these as well. Those are all, it's all magic that I already know that I found after I learned it. So no reason to hold on to it. A lot of housekeeping in this episode, or spire keeping. Keeping. Nope, not what I meant to do. Right here. Oh yeah, shoot, I need to get back here and upgrade Lantry's Hierarch's Robe. So we're waiting on Hide for that. I think it's at superior quality? Exquisite. And now it's Masterwork. So now all of our artifacts are Masterwork quality. Where am I going? Oh yeah. To the Aurora Spire. Speak to the medical professionals here. Hi, Alchemist Ambro. Welcome to the Spire's infirmary, Fatebinder. As you can see, we have everything in order and under control. The Alchemist nods and smiles. Now what can I do here? If you wish to craft potions, we have an alchemy station nearby. We're of course producing a modest supply of potions ourselves. You have but to ask, and I'll show you what we've made. What do you make of the spire? The alchemist glances toward the edge of the spire, with an anxious twitch. This is certainly an irregular place to establish our services, but so be it. At least we're removed from the front lines of this conflict, for the time being at least. And what have you made for me? I'm only too happy to show you. Come, take a look. Why, sweet. Let's talk to Arena. An alchemist looks you up and down with an expression of open curiosity. Reasonably healthy, reasonably fit. Evident exposure to military camp diseases and combat conditions. She narrows her eyes and nods. No doubt some worm has invaded the bowels and tripled in size by now. She makes a dismissive wave. You'll be dead before long. What makes you say that? It's a sad reality of military life. Too much time spent in cramped quarters, sharing a bunk with some half-dead soldier who can't control his fluids. I tend to keep my distance. That's actually a very apt description of military life. I tend to keep my distance from such squalors to avoid catching what I treat. She gestures around the spire. As you can see. But at your rate, it's all but inevitable that some parasite or poison will devour you from the inside, unless you take special care. Why don't you show me what I can do to treat myself and forestall this inevitable doom? I'd love to help, but I need some time to replenish my stock. Come back later. Let's talk to Demiro. I like that name. Demiro looks off towards the stone sea. This is the furthest I've been from my home in Halfgate. He takes a deep breath. The air is a lot clearer here. It'll help with the herb's potency. You can imagine the difficulties we had with the edict in the stone sea. Why did you leave Halfgate and offer your services to me? I made good with the few resources I had, but eventually even the little I had ran out. I closed up shop. That's when I decided to take my skills elsewhere. I come to inspect my work, Fatebinder? What have you made for me? I don't have anything for you at the moment. Check back later. Alright, Gela or Jella? I'm gonna say Gela. Gela salutes you. Graven Ash has given me permission to provide services to your spire. My contacts to the north provide me with a wide variety of potions. She looks around to the other workers throughout the apothecary. Far more effective than these southern-grown herbs. You come from the north. Her mouth forms a wide smile. Yes, proud to say. Her smile subsides into a slight frown. I've been away quite a while now. Hopefully many of us will be sent back home once the tears have been taken. Graven Ash protects Fatebinder. Do you need to buy something? Show me what you have for sale. Etched wooden charm. Plus 10 to control life. Makeshift charms like this one are often worn by backwoods apothecaries who lack the resources of more established communities. And Bane Brew. Okay. Nereus? A Fatebinder, come closer. I have something for you. The thin stranger offers a toothy smile and beckons the hand curled into a fist. Step closer. There we are. It should only take a moment. Before you can react, he opens his palm to reveal a handful of black powder, which he blows into your face with the full force of his breath. It's too late to do anything about it. You bat at the cloud to disperse it, but you've already inhaled no small amount of the substance. He nonchalantly slaps his hands together to clean them off. Nothing to worry about. Those are ordinary ashes. What do you think would have happened if I was a dishonest man, You'd be sucking the air for breath as your skin turned the color of rotten eggplant. He shakes his head at the thought. I'm sorry, what are you trying to prove? Wars can be fought with more than just blunt objects. Growing comfortable with poisons can be as unnerving as spooning a scourge. But in truth, these seemingly innocuous powders and potions can be your most enthusiastic friend on the battlefield. He grins and opens a deep satchel. I'll take a look at your friends, but if you even think of poisoning me, I'll have your head. Alright, well, I don't use poison. It's a coward's tool. And an Ebers. The sage is preoccupied with examining every groove and crack in the stonework of the spire. He sees you and begins to shake his head in astonishment. By Kyros' wrinkled sack, how on Tyranny did you build something like this so high off the ground? How do you secure your vials from the wind? What do you do when it rains? Before you have a chance to respond, his face has already leaned into a collection of herbs growing in the planter, completely disregarding any answers you might have for him. I'll be sure to make something worthy of this soaring apothecary. Make no mistake of that. What have you made for me? I don't have anything for you at the moment. Check back later. Alright, well.
Yes.
Oh, and Rosto. The man takes a deep bow. Rosto at your service. If you're looking for a reliable seller of potions, look no further. Rosto always delivers. Potions are an uncommon commodity. How do you acquire them? I have my ways. He leans in closer. Many soldiers fall in battle on all sides, many of them carrying goods such as these that will remain on a battlefield, wasting away. He solemnly nods his head. I simply make sure those goods find their way into able hands, yet again. You plunder the dead for potions. Arasto recoils. Oh no, I have people I pay to do that. Well, show me what you have for sale. Spider silk sash. Plus 10 to dodge. The materials in this sash were lovingly cultivated by the reclusive sage Canwar, a former scholar of the Vellum Citadel, who was ejected from the School of Ink and Quill for his unconventional practices. And another Cairn's leaf, very powerful consumable that I haven't used yet. Barrick is currently hoarding quite a few of them. I get them pretty often as the Paradox reward for each day. Alright, well, we're done here. Let's go check out the Dawning Spire. It's actually going a lot faster than I thought it was going to. I should probably see if my companions have anything to say now that I've collected all the spires in the region. Alright, Trainer Riss. The man before you offers a nod at your approach. He meets your eyes hesitantly and pauses before speaking. Should just be hesitantly? Thank you for having me, Fatebinder. Oh, he's the Bronze Brotherhood. No, we don't get along, do we? The name's Riss. I'm here because I'm good at just two things. Killing my foes and seeing where the currents flow. I'd rather not get caught on the wrong side of history, so I'm here to humbly offer my sword. I'm well versed in many forms of combat, and can help you stay versatile during a fight, should you wish it. Why did you choose to follow me now? These spires have towered over us for generations. Whoever made them was far beyond us, mere peasants on the ground. They were objects of wonder and legend in Tiersman's stories. Now that you've claimed them, he looks directly at you, conviction in his eyes. That's reason enough for me. And what can I do here? If you want to hone your fighting skills or perhaps learn some new ones, this is the place. But really, the spire is your domain. What you do and who you invite to aid you is your choice. I like to train. How many points am I sitting on? 88? I have 88 points to spare? Alright.
Can't do that.
Let's talk to Varys. The rugged soldier snaps to an immediate salute, his fist clanging against his breastplate. Graven Ash protects. Salute. Graven Ash protects. I couldn't be more proud to stand atop this spire with a true friend of the Legion, Fatebinder. He looks out to the horizon and takes a deep breath. I've been away from home for too long. It's good to see the north from this vantage. Now that you're up here, what's your plan? I'm an Oathbound, and among other things that means I'm a distinguished scout and hunter. I intend to do what I do best. If you're interested in pelts, it would be my honor to scour the wilderness beyond the spire and lay some traps. Anything I bring back is yours by right. Or rights. Do you have anything for me now? I haven't got anything on me just yet. Find me again later when I've had a chance to inspect my snares. Alright, and Torvis. Hail Fatebinder. And welcome back to your spire. I must say, the view up here is quite impressive. The soldier scratches the back of his head and shrugs. I never thought I'd see the day when I greeted an agent of Tunon so happily, but then I never thought I'd see the top of a spire either. So I guess we're all about breaking from tradition these days. I'm sure that Tunon has filled your head with all sorts of lessons, and the details would probably scare me half to death. But we need you in peak form, and you need every means of defending yourself at your disposal. What do you say? Interested in some training on top of your training? Let's get started. Yeah, let's go and do this. I've got the money to spare, so... Alright, so we can only get up to 150. These are master trainers, so they should... This is as good as I can get. How many times did I level up there? 3 times. Alright. Alright. Well, let's do it, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, Massive Blow, so plus 15% to critical damage multiplier. And then Massive Blow 2, plus 30% to critical damage multiplier. I'm going to hit like an absolute truck. And I guess I can grab Brawler. I mean, I don't know the last time I dropped below 35% health in a fight. What's the might bonus? Plus 6 might if my health drops to 35% or lower. Yeah, screw it. Let's do it. Alright, well I have all the skills that I want. I think there might be some heavy armor skills in the defensive tree. Yeah, Iron Light is air. I think is the one, right? So temporarily remove all recovery penalties from equipped armor and shields. Lifted weight allows you to swing twice when attacking for a short time. Yeah, this is really good. It was one of the skills I was looking at early on. But it's quite... well, it takes 2 points. So I can improve my thrust and... Oh, I don't remember this one. This is really good. It's a shame that Barrett can't get this. So taunt nearby enemies every few seconds while his stance is active. I honestly think that the main character would make for a better tank than Barrick does. By the way, we're now at level 23. Alright. Selena? Interested in sparring. My nerves are all knotted up just standing here, and I could use the distraction. Sure, let's go. I mean, we can afford it. Like, we're not hurting for money. There we go.
Better?
Let's level her up now. What do we got? What's this actually at? I see what the current value is. It's not telling me what the base value is. So I see +3 and then +3. So she has 6 extra. So alright, yeah, we'll just keep putting it into that then. And then here, I guess pick on a spit. So verse swaps positions with an enemy and then stabs them with each of her weapons. Mocking Iron, verse taunts her foes, or her foe, enraging them and force them to attack her for a brief time. Scarlet Vengeance, when verse is defeated, she immediately attacks on nearby enemies. Don't need it because she never goes down, but yeah, screw it. Yeah, we'll get piercing arrows 1. Attacks made with bows gain armor penetration. How much? +2.
Faster and stronger.
Works for me. Oh, if we could probably upgrade Barrick and Torvis
Yes.
with the one-handed weapons as well. Alright, Thala. Unbroken. Woman in rusted, battered armor with spots of weathered skin showing through her face. Her face mask peers over the side of the spire. Jeez. Was there anything you needed, Fatebinder? I like to train. One-handed weapons. Alright, Barrick, have at it. Voila. Alright, 2 points into might, and 1 point into... Yeah, let's get that out of the negatives. Alright, Barrett, go ahead and grab this for me. And, let's see. Fierce Demeanor. Barrett becomes an intimidating force on the battlefield. Enemies nearby Barrett have their resolve reduced. I think it's just by 1. Yeah, but still. And then Art of the Blade. I mean, I want all of this stuff, but we'll get Art of the Blade 2 first. Moderately increases single one-handed and two-handed melee weapon damage by 20%. Death Leaper. She grunts and snorts, fast and deep, panting and snarling like a wild animal, eager to fight with you. I'd like to train. I mean, why not, right? We have so much money. And I haven't trained like
something every day
since the first act, right? Since Vengeance Well. So I don't even know what to get here. There's nothing I particularly want. Maggots I get more thrusts, right? So yeah, this staggering force adds an interrupt to my thrust attack. Causes thrust to interrupt the target, delaying their next attack. I'll take it. And I don't really care for Blade Wall. I mean, I can stun enemies, so I mean, it's probably worth grabbing. So allows an additional enemy to be engaged at a time and grants a bonus to damage dealt to targets that are stunned or prone. And then if we level up again, I can get Iron Light as Air. Works for me. Alright, Dreamslayer. A Fatebinder. I like your tower. The Scarlet Chorus Fighter nods and takes an appreciative survey of his surroundings. Dreamslayer at your service. I don't think that I knew that, well, he doesn't say he's a Fury. He's not a Scarlet Fury, even though he is dressed like one. But I thought all Scarlet Furies were women. And believe it or not, I came to fight you. She offers an awkward smile. Did I just say it was a he? Yeah, his surroundings, and then she offers an awkward smile. Okay. Care to elaborate, or should I just push you over the edge now? She counts off her fingers. I fought the Bronze Brotherhood, I punched a sage in his stupid face, and even grappled with a beastman. If the opportunity ever rises again, I would decline that last one. But I haven't fought a Fatebinder yet, and willing to bet we can learn a thing or two from each other. I promise I won't take up too much space. I even crap off the edge so I don't make a mess. You won't find a better bargain than that. Alright then, let's fight. I guess I can still upgrade my other stats that I don't plan on using, my other skills, just to, level up. Oh, she's out of, oh no, she's out of points. I had so many, I forgot that was even a thing that could happen. But we can level up her bows. No, we can't, she's out of points. Never mind.
I got it.
Alright, well, we've abused that enough. I mean, we're all very high level. Like, it was already a cakewalk. I think that's everybody, right? Dreamslayer, Thala, Deathleaper, Selena, Varys, Torbus, and Trainer Riss. Yep, we're all done. Alright, let's go talk to Graven Ash. I think that's what we have to do, right? Oh, well, that feels pretty good. I mean, it's not like we've been struggling at all for quite some time, since at least Bastard's Wound. And the fights in Bastard's Wound, while we never truly struggled, like I never felt like I was going to lose, they're probably the hardest fights in the game. So maybe I did that DLC too early. I wanted to talk to my companions at the Spire. Let's talk to Graven Ash first, and then we'll head back to the Spire. And then in the next episode, we'll see if our companions have anything new to say. Fatebinder, I felt something indescribable pass through me just before your arrival. Emotions of great rage and pain, followed by a moment of lingering sorrow. I suspect that something has been lost, and Tyranny herself strains at the absence. Ash winces and rubs his brow. I understand that both of the spires jutting up from the ruins of Azur are now under your control. It would seem that impossible feats are no mystery to the likes of you. Impressive for Tunan's minion. Do not allow yourself to be swept up by the esteem and glory of this achievement. Were you a soldier of mine, I would temper your pride with modesty. What would you do with a spire under your authority? Why, is one of yours for sale? I would have masons study the stonework and expand it into a mighty fortress, unassailable, wreathed by earthshakers, the powers augmented by the very presence of the ancient structure. When this conflict is finally over, imagine the fate of your spires will be a topic of great discussion. The disfavored and earthshakers were triumphant, and have managed to destroy the cairn. The Archon of Stone, fallen. Ash turns his gaze out to Iron Hearth, settling it on nothing. I thank you, Fatebinder. This was a long time coming. Cairn's betrayal was inexcusable, and a death sentence from a lawful hand is no more or less than he deserved. What's more, you're to be commended for resolving an edict of Kyros, and putting down an Archon at once. He pulls on the end of his beard and frowns. You don't sound too pleased about this. I do not always find war pleasing, especially in these dark days. When it is thrust upon me, and former allies show their true colors, at times I want nothing more than to see home again, but even home has its memories. I never have called the Archon of Stone a friend. Cairn was a difficult man to know, taciturn and removed, keeping to himself as often as not. But we had much in common. When you're an Archon, that is a quality you learn to cherish in others. So no, I am not pleased. I make no secret of it. I am sorrowful and cruel. Even though the Archon needed to die, it does not stop me from wishing it were otherwise. I have my doubts about starving the Scarlet Chorus this way. Do Do you think the voice in Rot concerns himself over the ethics of his atrocities? Do you think that he questions the fairness of it all while he displays the pelts of his victims as works of art? This is war. I will not allow the petty misgivings to stay my hand. I have no desire to become as twisted and deplorable as the voices, but I will use every weapon at my disposal to rid the world of him. Well, on to the next order of business. What happens to the Scarlet Chorus from here? The crops grown for our enemies will have withered on the vine. By now, the Archon's forces are clutching at their stomachs and tightening their belts as we starve them out. Ash stands tall and beams at the thought. A fair reward for more than fair service to the Legion. Ash nods with gratitude and hands you a heavy hammer wrapped in cloth. The Earthshakers and Forgebound conceived of this. I can think of no wielder more deserving than you, Fatebinder. A voice almost gave out there. A Fatebinder. Breathless, the officer snaps to attention. No time for pleasantries or ceremony. Your spire is under attack. The Scarlet Chorus have ramped up their offensive. They mean to topple your stronghold, with you atop it if need be. I feared something like this might happen. An act of desperation from the voices of Nerat. He's either too much of a coward to attack Iron Hearth, or his forces are too weak. Either way, you need to answer this threat with blood. You carried out your task with distinction. Well done. My thanks, Fatebinder. Best of luck at your spire. I have monitored the execution of your duties in the tiers, and feel increasingly confident that my trust has not been misplaced. His severe expression splits to reveal a broad grin. Well, neat. Alright, and then he gave us Ash's Finery. It's a one-handed hammer. Well, might give this to Barrick then. He'd probably get a kick out of this. It's a weapon crit, knocks target prone. This reinterpretation of a forge-bound smith hammer is imbued with Karen's command over stone. Though struck by a heavy blow or knocked senseless. How's it look? It's a cool looking hammer. Looks maybe a little fragile. Especially on the backside there.
I'll just hold on to this.
We'll give it to Barrick. I feel like he'd appreciate that. Our, our levels are still scrolling up here.
Can't do that.
Alright, so we got a missive, and we have to go back to our spire anyway. But I'm going to call it here. In the next episode, we will head towards... Is he new? The disfavored soldier mutters to himself and stares down the truncated length of a broken sword. Rusted piece of garbage. Wasn't even worth the trouble of carrying into battle. Better off in the hands of a farmer tilling his field. He looks up and meets your gaze, his posture straightening. You're Tunon's Fatebinder, are you not? It's timely that you happened by. I have a dispute with the Forgebound of Lethian's Crossing. Why don't you tell me about the problem? At the start of the conquest, I requisitioned an iron sword from the Forgebound. Since they settled in Lethian's Crossing, I figured it wouldn't take the span of the entire Kyros be darned war to get the blade assembled and ready for battle. They proved me wrong. The smiths only just filled my order, and they did a rush job of it. The blade arrived in camp last week. I could tell at once that it was rubbish. It barely held an edge and wobbled in its scabbard. Felt wrong through and through. Go on. I was willing to give the glorified length of scrap a fighting chance, so I carried it into battle. After 2 parries, the blade snapped. I had to tackle the enemy and pound his head in with my fists. He squeezes his fingers together, his gauntlets creaking with tension. I dare say we've all been there, countrymen, broken sword or no. I shared some terse words with my commander, but nothing could be done about the situation. The Forgebound answered to Tunon, not the disfavored, which is why I'm glad you're here. My honor is tarnished, and I'm left with a second-hand iron that has seen more active duty than a dozen stone shields. May I see the weapon? Here you go. You see plain as a spire that the iron is no good. He takes out a sword sheared in half. The flat edge shows evidence of spreading rust. The blade itself feels dislocated from the hilt, as if ready to fall off at any moment. Any ideas, Barrick? I wouldn't call this your standard wear and tear. but it's not a problem of the crafting either. It's almost like someone tested the sword's durability half a thousand times against a tree trunk. Or against a thick-headed statue made of iron. Right, or a... Barrett cuts himself off and turns to verse. That was at my expense, wasn't it? Oh, look. He learned something. Yeah, what do you think, Verse? She looks down the length of the sword and bites into the inside of her cheek. With a slow shaking of her head, she runs her finger along the fracture. Whoever last swung this blade was either drunk or stupid. It looks like they were trying to swat flies off Karen's backside, and missed. Back to my questions. Well, go on then, Fatebinder. My time is yours. Have you trained with this type of sword before? I carried a blade just like it in Stalwart. That was made of bronze, of course. Had a different weight to it. He shrugs. You should know as well as I that the difference cannot be overemphasized. There's something about this man that I find distasteful. Have you spoken to the Forgebound about this? All the way in Lethian's Crossing. It's not as if my commander will send me out on leave to get some sweet-stained smith a piece of my mind. Sorry, sweat. Sweat-stained smith. Since the Forgebound report to Tunon, I figured you would represent their interests. Legally speaking, that is valid. Glad we don't have to worry about carting a smith all the way out here then. I've dealt with Fatebinders before, and I know you're capable of going to mad lengths to see Kyros' will done. Yeah, I'm ready to render judgment in this matter. About time I get my due justice. He nods and beckons for you to continue. At your leisure, Fatebinder. Well, we know that, based off of what Verse and Barrick said, I don't see the option here, though, that he just doesn't know how to use the sword. He was banging it on something while he's training and wasn't taking care of it. But I still think that he needs a new sword. Well, maybe not. He needs to take care of what he has. He's disfavored. He should be taking care of his equipment. Your attitude isn't befitting a disfavored soldier. I rule for the Forgebound. What? My attitude? But I shouldn't enter into the matter. What memory of law is this? You aren't getting what you want. Now get out of here. Whoops, I clicked on the wrong one. Bah, I'll see them accountable for their shoddy craft. If you will not help me, I'll find someone who can. Good day. I don't care, man. The option, based off what my companion said, wasn't there. I didn't like that. Where is it at? Nah, we're fine. Alright.
I got it.
I'm going to call it here. Next episode, we'll take care of conversing with our companions if they have anything to say. And stopping the attack on our spire, and we'll read this missive. So, a few things to do. Either way, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.